Hey guys, it's Tino again, back with another Star Wars Starships episode. In this one, I'm going to be featuring the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels. Now, while appropriately named the Ghost, the converted VCX-100 light freighter was owned by the female Twi'lek captain, Hera Syndulla. Now, quite where she obtained the ship from, or how long she'd owned it, she was never willing to share. Now, what was clear was that the Ghost was unarguably her ship. Well, mostly. Now, the C-110P astromech droid, or Chopper as he's known in the series, was the Ghost's astromech engineer. It was clear that Chopper was as much a part of the Ghost as the deck plates. Despite his constant bickering with Hera and everyone else who appears on the ship, and his borderline sociopathic behaviour to some of the other crew, Chopper cared very much for Hera and more for the ship. Now, the droid tinkered with the Ghost and the shuttle, Phantom, a great deal. Indeed, Chopper was often the only one aboard the ship who knew exactly how all the systems work. This may have been the paranoid old droid's purpose in making the modifications he did, ensuring he couldn't be replaced with a newer droid if the crew wanted the ship to keep running. Now, the Ghost, although a light freighter, was definitely not a merchant ship. The forward section was dominated by the crew quarters, common area and galley. By the time the crew set up on Lothal, these had almost all been decorated by Sabine, as we all know, the Mandalorian artist and weapons specialist, crew member from Rebels. The ship may not have been large, but it was a home to the crew and every bit as individual as the beings who inhabited it. Now, the Ghost, whether or not the work on it had been done before Hera came to own it, it bore only a passing resemblance to a factory standard VCX-100, and at the same time, all of the many modifications it carried were not obviously apparent. The most obvious modification the Ghost had was the adaptation to carry a small shuttle. The rear of the vessel had been remodeled above the main engine bay, behind the dorsal turret to allow a docking port for a CEC short-range shuttle, which became known as the Phantom. This port was configured so that the Phantom would dock backwards, which allowed the shuttle's illegal twin laser cannons to be fired in addition to the Ghost's own weapons, which were a fixed nose turret below the main cockpit and the rotating dorsal turret. The dorsal turret up top was reached via a ladder leading up from the middle of the main corridor that ran the length of the ship. The VCX series were designed first and foremost as cargo ships, as well as a relatively large cargo hold at the rear of the ship. There was an exterior empty space between the forward boarding ramp and the rear hold into which a standard cargo module could fit, held in place by powerful magnetic docking clamps. Unlike many merchant ships, the forward hold just after the cockpit was configured as a large common room and 4 crew berths, as well as a small galley kitchen. Although the ship could still pass itself off as a merchant vessel, the Ghost was configured for infiltration and combat. The most visible guns may have passed a cursory scan, but any detailed examination would have shown that they were boosted far past legal standards. This was especially true of the Taman Buck MS-2B twin laser cannon projected from the front of the Phantom shuttle like oversized fangs. Now, the ship and crew could easily bring down the far larger Gazanti-class Imperial cruisers in a straight fight. The Ghost also boasted overpowered shields and boosted engines, making it by far the fastest ship of its size in the sector of the Outer Rim that included Lothal. Though lacking a cloaking device, it had an identity scrambler that kept the ship nicely anonymous when needed. It also had a complex sensor jamming suite that made it hard for opponents to properly scan or get a targeting lock on the ship, allowing the Ghost to creep up on even an older model Imperial Star Destroyer. That stealth system tied into an experimental and possibly illegal device that could baffle tractor beams long enough for the Ghost to vanish. So all in all, Hera's ship was very aptly named. And there you have it. That's pretty much a summary of what you need to know about Hera Syndulla's light freighter, the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels. And as always, I always try to make sure that everything I say is part of official Star Wars canon. And if you like the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to keep up to date with all my videos if you like. Even leave a comment, tell me what you thought of the video, and I'll talk to you all next one, guys, and catch you all later.